So in a scenario like you watch Insecure, right?
Yeah.
So in that scenario when Molly had that, she was dating that guy. He shared with her his experience. And it was like a one night experience.
I know, because that was the first time where I was like, she should have given him a chance. And I was like,
so you in that situation,
I don't know. It was hard
because from what I got
guy.
from that, he wasn't even gay. He had an experience. To me, because he's like, I didn't really like it. I had this experience.
So what's your reservation?
I think fear would have taken over me.
But what's the fear from?
But I told you earlier,
that it can happen again.
It can happen again, and the fact that we be in
You
love,
think it would
together.
happen while you're with that person?
Because for me, if you doing that, and again, it's a double standard. I'm not saying it makes it right.
No, I'm just curious.
I'm not saying it makes it right, but that's just how that's just how I feel. I just feel like when you cross that line.
Is it because it's like a lot more to maybe compete with?
It's not just the competition, though.
Okay.
That's a part of it, but that's not just it for me.
It's just you feel like that person won't be able to completely be monogamous to you. You just don't believe that.
And I don't want to have it over my head and wondering, oh my God, is he ever going to want to experiment again with another man? Like, I don't want that haunting me.
Say no more.
Hey everybody, I'm André Akeem. Welcome to season 3 of A Parlay in the A. I have some very special guests here. I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves. I'm gonna start with you, Matt.
My name is Matt. Go by Mayday Muse. I'm an artist. I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. So, I mean, you working on your album and stuff too, right? Give us some updates on that.
I'm working on music. I'm in reality. I'm a full-time performer. So just trying to make it and get it done. This crazy world of everything going on. So
Okay. And to the left of me is Monique Nicole.
Yes. Hi guys, I'm Monique Nicole. I'm an entertainment blogger and YouTuber.
Okay. And then the fabulous Khali.
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Khali. And that's it.
Okay, now y'all gotta do better than this. You have literally worked on the set of Color Purple. Come on, give me a little bit more.
Okay, look at you.
You a makeup artist too, right?
Yeah. So I do
Plug
yourself, girl.
Okay, I do costumes for movies. I do makeup, photo shoots, and I do a little background acting work.
There we
go. Okay, I'm happy to have y'all on this first episode of my podcast for season 3. I think this is gonna be a good conversation. Definitely. So I do want to preface this season with the fact that it's going to be a little bit different from my last couple of seasons. I was doing a lot of hot topics, a lot of gossip topics. And honestly, it got to me, I literally cannot talk about Kanye one more time. He did something today, and it was just I'm so happy, this year, I'm not going to do my podcast like that. So, but I'm going to stick to one topic specifically for every episode. And I just want to kind of highlight topics in our community that we're talking about, and those communities being the LGBTQ plus community and Black and Brown community. So I just want to highlight discussions that are going on in our communities. I am about to contradict myself real quick because this topic, it did derive from a hot topic over the summer. And that topic was this video that came out from Fabio Foreign's baby mother. I don't know if any of y'all saw that.
No.
Yeah,
yep.
I saw it.
Evil people, they got proof, they got receipts, they have the planned out. I'm just telling you my life. That's it. This is my life. I went through his porn history. It was shit. It was mad gay shit on his porn history. Besides the porn history, this has been happening for 2 years already. And I have a gay best friend for those who don't know. While we fucking, this is happening for 2 years already. While we fucking, he will come up. As in, the first couple times, I just thought he was fucking up. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm saying as in, instead of saying this my, he'll say this my dick or give me that dick, it. He's around. He gets around. He gets around everything, and he does not use a condom. He does not use a condom. He does not. And he be burning, because I've seen him a few times with a Band-Aid on the top of his butt. Y'all know what that means. He will get burned and go to clinic and come back like nothing. You wasn't going to tell me?
Inform me.
Okay, I'm gonna put the video in this podcast, but for the sake of everybody in the panel, I'm just gonna catch you off the speed of what happened. She put out a video essentially accusing him of being, I want to say pansexual or bisexual, but she basically said he sleeps with everybody. And then she said she found this out because she looked through his phone. He had gay porn on his phone, different things like that. And then she also said, she said he's like insinuated different things in bed that I guess a straight man wouldn't say. And then also he's in and out of the clinic. These are her words. And he's been treated for things that I guess normally straight guys wouldn't be treated for. I'm not here to discuss if Fabio Foreign is bisexual or pansexual or not. But I do appreciate the conversation that came out of that. And that was, people were having the conversation of, is it a bisexual man's business to have to disclose his sexual orientation with the woman he's dating? Some people said they don't believe that it's necessary. I mean, do we ask everybody their sexual history with everyone we're going to date with, what have you? And some people say they should know. It's a woman's right to know that. So I want this panel to give their opinions on that. I know this is long, but before I do that, I do want everybody on this panel to share their sexual orientation. I do think it'll add a little context to the conversation. Okay. So I'm going to start with you, Matt.
I am bisexual. That is my sexual orientation.
Okay. So we actually have a bisexual perspective on this podcast.
Yes.
All right, Monique.
I am straight.
You are a straight cis woman.
Yes.
You got to do all that nowadays.
Straight as an arrow.
Straight as an arrow. And Khali.
And I am bisexual, maybe a little pansexual.
Maybe a little
we like to
pansexual?
keep it spicy.
Okay.
Spicy. All right. Okay. I consider myself a gay black man. But I would say, like, I've dated women in the past. So, and if a beautiful, attractive woman walked by me, I will say I get to draw into certain women. But for the most part, if I had to check it off on pen and paper, I would just consider myself gay. So I think this is going to be very, like, introspective,
very
honestly.
interesting.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to also ask another question. Do y'all believe bisexuality is a double standard when it comes to men and women, and specifically the black community?
Absolutely.
You believe?
100,000%.
Why do you believe that?
It's been a double standard since the beginning of time. I mean, women, right? When women date other women, men think that's sexual and like sexy and like hot, and at least straight men do. But I guess bisexual men do not get that same courtesy.
I do agree with you too. I don't think it's necessarily it's equally weighed on both sides. I think it's definitely a double standard. We can definitely see it within the media. I was even thinking about today, like Drake, like he literally dropped a song where it says like girls wants girls, and like literally the whole hook is like girls want from and stuff like that. And Lil Nas X dropped the album that same summer, and then it's just like everybody and their mama had issues with it. And so that, and that's like, I don't know, I just think like in our culture, how men talk about women, like Boosie can have a video on gay men, but in the same like, the same video, he can also be like, I took my son to a strip club where women were making out with each other.
Disgusting.
And I'm just like, how do y'all not see the hypocrisy in that? So I definitely believe it's a double standard.
I think it's a lot, it has a lot to do with just kind of how bisexuality in general is perceived. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to men. There's a whole masculine and feminine quality, especially really spotlighted in the male homosexual, especially gay black men. And the thing is, so when people say they're bisexual, there's a side of people who say they're bisexual because they want to seem as if they're more manly than the gay man. You know what I'm saying? Just because I've been with women or had women before, that makes me more of a man. You know what I'm saying?
I see that a lot in our community too. I believe like some guys, and they're full out gay, but I think
they say they're bisexual.
It adds you an edge too, because it's like, it presents as more masculine.
I feel like as a bisexual man, I feel like if you talk about it, like you gotta say all the time that you like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about it is, what the misconception of bisexuality is like that bisexuality means that I want both at the same time, and it doesn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the misconception. I can be bisexual, meaning like I can give my full, complete, entire personality and me to a woman if I'm with that woman, and be monogamous and do all the things that I can for her, but and do the same thing for a man. But I don't want, just because I'm with a woman doesn't mean I'm like, look at that guy over there, I still want him to. Like, doesn't work like that.
I feel like that's one of the main issues with women, correct? Yeah. I would assume that it's like, well, no, like when a man says he's bisexual, I would assume like they get this misconception that he's always gonna be like wanting for a guy. In reality,
Sure,
he's
that-
just
that
putting on
definitely-
for me.
It depends. Like, I think there's levels to bisexuality. Like,
Okay.
the kind of bisexual I am, I like women. You know, like we could take it there, but
Okay.
will I like seriously date you to marry you? At the end of the day, I want to marry a man.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's what your life goals are. Like, you could be a bisexual man, but do you necessarily want to marry another man, or do you want to have a wife? You know, it's just like levels to it.
I agree with that
That's a good
100%.
point. That's a
And
good
that's what
point.
I meant. Like, I say, like, I had to put it on pen and paper. It would definitely be like, I consider myself a gay man because I know that's what's going to complete me overall. Like, I mean, I could find a woman attractive, but in the end of the day, like, I couldn't see myself having a long-term relationship with them or marrying them. Like, that's not going to make me whole in a relationship. So, but like you said, there are different levels. I do believe there could be someone who's equally attracted to a woman as they're equally attracted to a man.
I mean, just
Monique,
I don't know.
You hissing over here,
Yeah,
girl.
I was like,
What's up?
it's-
Because
I would-
there's levels. There's levels to it, and then everyone is uniquely different. Like everyone's situation is different. So I have these like hard opinions, but then I'm like, okay, well, I can see this a little bit. For me, and this is no offense, I personally would not date a man that told me he's bisexual.
Ooh.
That's just not. I can't.
But that's important. That's an important statement, and I'll say this as a person who only dates people of color. Like I only date within my race. I notice in general that a lot of black women, cisgender black women, don't like bisexual. I mean, don't want to date bisexual men, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Like, it's just kind of is a statement. So therefore, you see a lot of bisexual men typically are in relationships with other men because of
The stigma.
Not necessarily the stigma, because it's hard to say. It's just genuinely, like, I get the comment of, I don't want a man who likes what I like. You know what I'm saying? That's the comment I hear a lot, and it's just kind of part of it. It's not like we're, you know, like I will say for myself.
You even get that as, I mean, we know we have tops and bottoms in our, our community,
it's the same thing. But you know, like, where it gets more complicated is just, you know, our community itself. Are we doing it because of our preferences, which I feel like preferences, everybody has a right to their preference? Are we doing it because we just don't understand fully what's there? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the difference.
I feel like it just comes down to like knowing and accepting who you are internally. Because like if you're not comfortable disclosing what it is that you like to somebody that you seriously want to be with, then it's like, I can't be with you because you're not even cool with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's my bad, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to jump into the main topic because I think we're driving into it, so I just want to present it. And so the main topic is essentially, do you believe that a bisexual man needs to disclose his sexuality to women he's dating?
Yes.
You do believe. Okay, Khali, keep going on what you were saying and why you believe a bisexual man needs to disclose his sexuality.
So as a bisexual woman, it's like, I get it. If we have that conversation, then we can have some kind of understanding about it. We can have like boundaries and just plan out how we're going to do things because, I got trust issues. I know I probably can't do what a man does. So I'm always going to have that hanging over me because I don't know what that is. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it, I just don't know. So that's always a thing for me. But also me saying I need to know just from a spiritual perspective, I'm big on spirituality.
Okay.
There are soul ties connected with every single person you have sex with. So if you're keeping half of your sex life a secret, I can't, I don't, and then I'm starting to have problems in my life, I'm gonna think it's from you because what do you have going on?
So I agree with you what you were saying too, because even dating, I've realized that honesty is the best policy. And so I do believe you have to be completely transparent with the person you're dating, and you should also want to be transparent with the person you're dating. The issue I think we have with this specific issue in our community or this specific conversation is that I don't believe bisexual men feel like they can be honest to specifically black women about this topic. Because I feel like it's a lot of prejudgments there. It's a lot of stereotypes there. Like, this person isn't going to be able to completely love me or be completely with me 100% of the time because they're always going to have these different urges. And I don't believe that's necessarily true. I believe... You differ on that?
Go ahead. I mean,
I want to hear your...
I definitely have to disagree. 'Cause definitely be honest. Honesty, like you said, is the best policy, regardless. It's my right to know. If I'm going to be intimate with you, if I'm going to be with you,
So do you disclose all of your sexual partners with someone you're dating?
That's a conversation with couples.
So now, everyone you dated,
whether people are honest or not.
Okay.
But that is a topic as far as like, do you tell your partner how many people you've slept with? That's a debate. That's a debate in itself, even with heterosexual couples.
Do you believe your partner deserves to know that, how many people you slept with?
Yes. I think so.
Yes,
you think so?
Yes,
yes
absolutely.
And no.
I think so.
See, now it gets tricky. I don't think everybody would agree with that.
I think so, for sure.
I mean, when it comes from a bisexual point of view, like, I need to know what you've come in contact with so I know what's possible for me and my body. Because there's certain things that I can get from you that I can't get from, a straight man. I'm not trying to sound...
What do you mean?
like Fabio Foreign's girl was saying that, like, he was in and out the clinic and he was in there for things that, usually a straight man wouldn't be in there for, right? You said that?
I did say. Now, I don't know if there's validity to, but this is what that girl said. I don't know if there's validity to that.
While y'all been recording, I checked my phone and Fabio Foreign's baby mama just said, I wanted to apologize to Fabio Foreign for the things I said.
Lord. See,
family, I should not have went
Now
out.
we are.
This is why I wasn't trying to debate that.
Is this a real time?
I agree with a lot of things.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Well, no.
We
don't. Hold on. We don't know if he threatened her. We don't
Paid
know
her
what
off.
paid her
Paid her
off. We
off.
don't know.
We can't assume that that's what it is. Maybe
No,
she
I'm
just
saying
feels
we
crazy.
don't
The
know.
check cleared.
But okay.
Okay, keep going though. Keep back to what you said.
Like, now that we're talking and getting into it, I feel like there's a difference between being a bisexual man and being DL. Because I have a lot of gay friends.
I agree with that 100%.
So I always gay check with my friends, my gay boyfriends. Like, that's what I call them.
Because they gonna know.
Yeah, all they have to do
Did you ask
was,
me to check somebody from...
I think I did. Like,
You were
somebody
like-
that was out here.
Do y'all follow the same people? I think that's what you wanted me to
like,
check.
do y'all follow the same people? And then that's just how I kind of gauge.
It was one person
things.
and then we're a trainer, and I was like, I wouldn't hold any weight in that fact. But
That's it. She brings up a good point because
So crazy.
it speaks to how do I say this?
Mm-hmm.
Women get lied to a lot in
Yeah.
those situations. So it's almost like a traumatic thing for women. And we hear those stories about girls that were with the guy that was down low, or the man that married the woman, had the kids, and at 45 was like, I've been living a lie. Like, that stuff happens. Like, I actually know someone who, I'm not close to them, but I know someone whose father did that.
see,
And
Oh,
so
God,
it's you can't negate that does happen.
Yeah.
And that is a traumatic thing for women to even think about happening to them. So you do have to factor in the levels of men that are DL. You have to factor that into
But
the
as a
equation
straight
as well.
woman, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried something with a girl? Like,
No.
so you're just complete. Okay.
I'm
okay.
straight. Now, if I get drunk, I might kiss a girl.
But you never did anything. Just be
No.
like, let me experiment.
Which is so funny because it's like that's a common thing. If I get drunk, I'll kiss a girl. Mind you, and in the black community, that's not normal for men to do. White folks do what they want to do.
Yeah. Fact.
But
I just feel like it's a double. This is my thing. I'm not saying it's right, but
Yeah.
there's double standards all throughout life,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are against women. It is what it is. Like, it's not to be disrespectful or to be
Right.
offensive, but it's just, it is what it is. I'm sorry. That's a double standard that y'all just have to live with.
I don't know.
We have to live with a laundry list of double standards that are
And
placed
y'all
against
always
us.
telling us to get rid of double standards, and I really think y'all need to consider getting rid of the double standard on this, because I believe there's a lot of great guys out there, and one, if they're being honest with you about their bisexuality, if they have the agency to be honest with you about their bisexuality, I think they will be faithful to you. I'm pretty positive of that. But
I
don't
can't
think
trust anybody who is uncertain about their
But I got a question.
And is in the middle and teetering between one side or another
So
side.
this is another
I'm just
situation.
never.
Hold on.
I'm never gonna trust it.
Because
whether
the thing
it's
about
right
it
or
is-
wrong, I'm telling you, I'm never going to
Well,
trust
what makes
it.
you think because
Never.
somebody's bisexual that means they're teetering? Like they're not. Like I think that's a confusion thing. It's like multiracial people or or a middle child,
You have
for
to
example.
choose one side or the other.
Like, why do I have to pick? Like, why can't I just literally because I mean, I'm just saying, just generally.
Anyone I've ever known that's bisexual, they always ended up having one preference.
But the thing about it is,
rare to me that someone is going.
But you see why that is, because again, as a person, if I say, okay, my preference is black people in general, and I can't date black women because they don't like bisexual men, then what other choice do I have?
So you're saying for you, dating black women is very limited because a lot of them they're not open to dating bisexual men.
Yeah, I think that's an important fact to just state that. That's a thing, like, I mean, I can't say for every woman on the planet or, what I'm saying, or every black woman on the planet is like that, but I think that that's an important factor. And then I think the criticism that comes after that is that bisexual men don't want to really admit, like, oh, if they really like, or what's more of a preference or which way they lean towards. Like, I don't think that part matters. I think disclosing if I'm bisexual or not to a partner is important. I think to your point of saying how many partners this person's been with is important. I would want to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know, like, for instance, like, my relationship, me and my partner are very different. I've never had a hookup in my entire life. Like that's just something I just don't do.
Right.
Never have, never will. So it's an interesting perspective, and not that I'm going to bring judgment, but it's more to bring understanding to what we're moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Or what we have. What we decide is our relationship, because our relationship has to work according to us.
True.
So therefore, if these are some things that this person may like, and we can kind of integrate it into what we do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to know the experiences, but if you're talking about, like, as a person, you're not going to tell somebody that you're bisexual or that you're even interested in this. It's going to really stifle the relationship, especially when certain things come out. You walk past somebody that you've been experienced with, and then they're going to look at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff is going to come out. You can't hide that. I don't think that's anything that you should
What's
ever
done
hide.
in the dark will come to light.
And I'm like,
but
you're gonna
much
have to
worse.
say something. like you can't not
Yeah.
say. I don't think it should be a stigma. I mean, maybe you know what I'm saying, that's why people are afraid to say something, because they're like, if I say something, that she's not gonna like me. You know what I'm saying? It might be the truth.
And that's my thing too. I think we all can agree at this table that we believe that bisexual people, men and women, for me, should disclose that information to their partners.
Yeah.
My thing is, I don't think bisexual men necessarily, especially in the black community, are afforded that right to disclose that information to women partners, because of, like, I believe there's a stigma behind it. And that's, for me, like, if there's anything that can come from this conversation, is I want us to progress out of that, because like you said, like, there's different levels to bisexuality. You've dated a woman for how many years? And so it's just like, I believe bisexual men could have a functional relationship with a woman, and something that's long lasting and committed, but it's like, you guys have to allow them to do that, if that makes sense. Are you changing on any of that?
I'm not changing.
You're not changing.
I said what I said, and I'm not changing on it, okay?
No,
And I think that
it's
it's a nice ask, but I just don't ever see that changing. I just don't ever see it changing.
But honestly, I feel like if
There's
all
a lot
the
of
men that, like, ever messed with another man, or, like, would consider themselves bisexual or DL, whatever, if they all just came out and, like, told the truth, like, yeah, I did that, like, yeah, like,
A lot of y'all gonna be shook.
because I already know. I've heard some stories about people I never in a million
Would have
years
thought.
would have thought, but I'm sitting here
Shocking.
hearing it from the horse's mouth. Literally.
Damn.
So
I've dated,
I
trust me. I've talked to ball players, everything. Like, you'd be amazed at how
you'll
many
be
bisexual gay
surprised.
men are out here in the world. But
if all of them just came out, it would just be normalized. Like, it's way more.
There's so many.
But the thing is that the world's not ready for it yet. You know what I'm saying? And this is, I had a conversation, because I'm a musician, and I work with a lot of people, but I also work with a lot of, like, in my field, I work with a lot of straight men, and just, and we had a conversation about it too before, because, like, there's this, I had a guy, he was sitting at a table, we were all sitting at a table eating lunch, and I just heard the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because straight men talk about, oh, I did this,
They
did
talk.
that, blah, blah, blah.
Straight men, let me just PSA, straight men be gossiping.
Okay, they're worse than women.
They be gossiping.
They're worse.
Just
but they talk about all the stuff that they did. They say it and stuff, and I'm like, y'all don't want to keep that to yourselves. It was like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a praise moment. But if I start talking about my experience with men, it's nobody wants to hear. But the thing was, what I had a conversation, because they were like, like, oh, you're I was like, because I said I'm a bisexual man, we're like, well, you know, bisexual, that's gay. If you ever did anything with your man, that's gay. I'm like, and for me, I don't have the capacity to explain it to them, so that's fine. You can believe that. I personally, I don't give a shit about that. But what I will say is the conversation. You're just like, oh, but I accept you for who you are, and I'm like, why wouldn't you? I'm just sitting here eating my lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like what right. I'm not having an orgy on the table.
He's openly telling you, oh, I'm not homophobic.
Yeah,
you are.
But I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm literally sitting here regular like everybody else.
But that could just be his way of being showing that he's an ally to you.
But I think no. See, this is my point.
No,
and the conversation when the LGBT community wins is when we sit all at a table and we don't have to have a conversation about it, because you don't have to sit there and say, I sleep with men. Like you just walk in like.
We shouldn't have to have a coming out. Like I
didn't say anything about sex. So why should I have to tell you who I sleep with? What difference does it make if who I sleep with? And why should you have to tell me that you accept me because of who I sleep with? I don't care. Like literally, we did not even have that discussion. If we were talking about sex, if we were talking about what I like, if we were talking about anything about me personally,
you feel like it was random and forced?
I feel like it's a stigma. I'm a straight man, and this is normal. What you do is weird, but I'm cool with that, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like.
It's just how, as a community, like, how we were all brought up. Like, we still have our grandparents, great-grandparents, who, of course, they didn't have that back then. Yeah. So it's like a newly accepted thing, you know, and something our generation is really embracing. Just
it takes time.
You know,
and it does.
It took how many years? You know what I'm saying? For us to get to this place. So I do think on both sides, there needs to be a little bit more understanding, a little more grace, because we're in a time now where, God forbid, I use the wrong pronoun. I'm now labeled something, and it's like, I'm not that. I made a mistake. We're all learning.
And I think that everybody has to understand.
Everybody needs to give a little more grace.
It's the same thing as racism and homophobia. Like those words are used very, very loosely for people who can necessarily, like, you gotta understand, somebody doesn't live this life or whatever, they might even have an understanding of what to even ask or what to say.
Yeah.
Right.
So therefore, you do have to give grace, and I totally understand that. But the only thing I'll say is sometimes the conversation of I accept you is worse than just accepting me. You know what I'm saying? Like versus
naturally,
just naturally
having to announce it.
You can say, if I say hello to you, we just say hello. Why you gotta say hello, my gay friend? I accept you.
Right.
Like, what?
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand that. I can understand that.
It's just really taught. Like, just coming from my family, like, my family is a very, like, Christian. They're not going to say they're homophobic. Yeah. They're going to say it's like, oh, the Bible says this. You're homophobic at the end of the day. That's what it is. So somebody like me who was just raised in that and not being able to even accept who I am, it's like when I see other people like me, it's just like, oh my God, hey, I really understand you, and I'm glad that, you know, we can have this connection because I never had this.
And I think it's that conversation. I don't want to ever say like that should never come up. I just feel like if it's in context, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I just feel like sometimes it's like imagine if you sat next to a white man at a bar,
right,
who's older, and he's like, yeah, I dated a black woman back in the 80s. Like you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? You know,
where did that come from?
But like, he's probably not racist. He probably truly doesn't, you know, like, but he feels like that's his way of connecting with you, and it's not necessary.
And it's not
necessary. What I'm saying? You can have a reason and a good quality reason for saying the things and understanding and being in your mind, because we all have our own personal ways of thinking. If you can validate that with truth and like no negativity, then I can commit it, even if we don't agree.
Right.
I do want to say this. I just want everyone to create a space. I know, like you said, like for you, it's a no-go for you if some guy come to you and they, you know, discloses information.
Right.
But I do want like all straight men to get to a point, or like men in general get to a point where they feel comfortable if they are hiding this secret to expose it. Because honestly, I believe a lot of the issues are coming from down low men. A lot of the sexual health risks and stuff, because us as gay men, a part of the community, we know we need to get checked every 3 months, whatever. We know you need to be on PrEP. We know all of these things because we're being educated, we accepted who we are, and we know we have this education, we have these resources afforded to us. But for people on the down low, it's like they're unable to even seek out the education because they don't want an email to be sent to them talking about, you know, such and such. So it's like, so it's like you oppressing this, like these community of people, I feel like honestly it's only gonna just like it's gonna be worse for everybody all around.
Yeah.
So I just want everyone to be able to provide a space where it's like, yo, you like even with me and Jerry, it's like he always lets me know like you can come to me about anything. And that alone is like allows me to open up to him about anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's important.
It's the avenue of being able to express in ways a lot of us who are we're probably similar ages, maybe very different, but our parents didn't really, maybe back in the 90s, didn't really allow us to do that. It was be quiet because you're the child of an adult. You know what I'm saying? So things got to be different now. And I mean, maybe we all have acceptance and we grew and we learned through our experiences, but it's very tough to navigate this new way of thinking because everything is so different now. And there are things that are pushing these issues, and there are things that are trying to regress these issues, and we're just trying to figure out where the balance is.
Yeah, but I respect your opinion. Like that's your boundary on, you know what I mean? That's
and you have a right to
you have a right to feel that way because
you don't want that. That's
there's a lot of different things. I'll be honest with you, like dating bisexual men. You brought it up, or men who have sex with men. You brought it up with the health risk, like. 1 in 6 men will contract HIV. And then for black men, that's half. Like half of black men will contract HIV. And so like there's statistics, there's reasons to have these precautions, but to me, transparency is everything. I believe if you allow somebody to be transparent and real with you and authentic, it can make a world of a difference, no matter their sexuality. Yeah. Like if they obviously dating you, they dating you for a reason. Believe that. So I don't know.
It just takes time with everybody. We'll
see.
Yeah.
In 20 years, we'll have this exact same conversation with the same 4 people.
And won't be thinking like, you have an issue dating somebody bisexual, but I don't know. What's the moral of the story? Do we have a moral of the story?
I think the moral of the story is just, like we're all progressing in our own ways. I think everybody has their preferences and we all should respect that and be understanding, not be judgmental, just be understanding. Yeah. That's the moral.
And even though know yourself. Yeah. Like accept yourself so that, you can give yourself to others. Because if you don't even love yourself, you can't give yourself.
How you gonna love somebody?
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
And even though I have my stern opinion, it's like I never want to offend anybody, and it's just like I don't care. Like I want everyone to just be happy. Like I just care about the betterment of people. Like whatever makes you happy, just be honest and being your truth about it. But the fact that there's even discrimination, I hate it. Like I hate it. So it's just. I never want my words to be misconstrued like that, but
there are worse things in the world than saying I don't want to date bisexual men. Yeah. I don't like dating men who wear ugly clothes, so I get
not ugly clothes. That's subjective.
I'm just saying, so that
what you consider ugly.
We all have a preference.
We all have. It's okay to have preferences, but it's not okay to have prejudices. To me, like that.
Damn, that was perfectly said.
Yes, I very much so agree.
And that statement can go for a lot of things.
Apply.
It can apply for lot of things. But I'll save that for another day, honey.
Okay. So, anybody want to add anything else?
I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah.
I got some conversation to have. Somebody to forgive.
Okay.
Look, see, I'm moving to go
forward. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, growth. Say it with me. Growth. Okay.
Word right here.
All right, yeah.
Like Sesame Street. Right?
Well, all right, y'all. Thank you for opening this season with me. Thank y'all if y'all tuning in, watching the first episode. It's going to be more to come of this. We're going to have these discussions that we already having with our homeboys and homegirls. So I'm excited for this season. Everybody want to reintroduce themselves, give their socials and stuff before we wrap it up.
Okay, Mayday Muse, MAYTAYMUSE. Instagram, everything you can think of, you can just type that in. You can find me. Again, I'm an artist. I am a musician. Grammy Award-winning musician.
Okay.
You need to start carrying it around with you, child.
Since we talked about it, like
put it on the page everywhere you go.
Yeah. So please, if you get a chance to listen to this and check this out, follow everywhere and support. Thank you.
I know that's right.
Yes. Monique.
Again, I'm Monique Nicole, entertainment blogger and YouTuber. On Instagram, it is _Monique_Nicole, and YouTube, it is just Monique Nicole.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm Khali Brewer, Khali Brewer. You can just type that in. That's me. I'm a good time, and follow me.
Okay. And I'm André Akeem. You can find me at André Akeem, Akeem, and you can find this podcast on most of all platforms at A Parlay Podcast. So, and as always, thank you for parlaying with us.
Say no more.